We are live here on Twitch with Interactive GM Mode. Welcome back. This is episode 2. We have got the after we saw what happened on episode 1. We are going to see the match cards play out here. Remember, if you like what you see, make sure to like, share, subscribe buttons and such below, and leave a comment in the comment section about which was your favorite match that you saw, or how would you book differently. You guys remember, Raw is being booked live by the Twitch channel. And once again, if you want to take place in the live booking, all you got to do is be here when we're live and we're doing the GM mode stuff. In the meanwhile, we're going to have our draws for our GM booked matches from the chat. And we have booked Monday Night Raw. We start off with a singles match between the Boogeyman and Mickie James. Then we've got Kennedy taking on Carlito. Then we've got Bobby Lashley taking on Benoit, followed by a triple threat match, Matt Hardy versus Kane versus John Cena. Then we've got Triple H and Edge in a steel cage, and then to close it out on Raw, we've got Lita versus Jillian Hall for the women's championship. It's going to be a good addition to Monday Night Raw. This is our first match here, booked by the Twitch channel, and we've got our very first intergender match. We've got the Boogeyman taking on Mickie James, so let's get to it. Our first match on Monday Night Raw, booked by the Twitch channel. And here we go, you guys. This is our first match. We've got Mickie James taking on the Boogeyman. Let's ring the bell and see how we do. Okay, you guys, do we prefer to see the HUD? Because I turned it off. Do you guys prefer to see the HUD, or do you guys want to keep it off? The HUD also includes like counters for Iron Man matches and things like that. So do you guys prefer to see it off, or do you guys want it on? Seeing a lot of off. Okay. So once again, you guys, this is our first match, so let's get rocking and rolling. Mickie James is up against it. Literally, she's up against the turnbuckle. And the Boogeyman has got Mickie James in a bad position, and oh my goodness! Drops her on the top, and then the splash!
Living up to the hype. No question about that, JR. The fans.
But Mickie James getting some offense in. You know, she's tenacious. She's feisty. You don't want to just doubt Mickie James just because she's... Oh, but... Here comes Boogeyman just doing everything that he can to try to out-muscle her. But Mickie getting in some good offense. Collar and elbow tie-up between the two. Now she's got him in a headlock. Boogeyman getting out of it. Nice chain wrestling between Mickie James and the Boogeyman before she hits him with the hip toss.
The Boogeyman.
And the Boogeyman with the low blow to Mickie James.
I'm married to your career. There's not much room for anything else.
And then he jumps over her because he could for some reason. Thank you so much for the bits. Appreciate that.
Come on now, JR. A man doesn't know what
and yet another low blow from the Boogeyman. Mike Chioda, what are you doing? Mike Chioda, what are you doing? You're just sitting there just waving at the sky.
Superstars sure aren't going easy on each other.
Where did the ref go? Oh, he's in there in the corner. Nice takedown there from Mickie James. Mickie James holding her own in this match against the Boogeyman. Here in interactive GM mode, it does not matter if you're male or female. Everybody is active down. Boogeyman has got her clutched. This does not look good. This does not look good for Mickie James. Boogeyman lays her out. Oh! Mickie kicks out at 2! Oh, but Boogeyman has got her up once again. Is he going to do it again? Rib breaker delivered. Rib breaker delivered by the Boogeyman, who was looking to haunt the nightmares of Mickie James. Irish whip into the far rope and then a knockout punch. Mickie needs to find some way to get some offense, and that counter may be the way to do it. You can see that she's holding her ribs, pleading for mercy, and then the poke in the eye. Boogeyman trying to fight off Mickie James. Mickie James doing a great job of fighting right back. Butterfly fleet. Oh my goodness. Just when Mickie comes in with an offensive move, the Boogeyman comes right back and splats her. Good effort. Good effort there from Mickie James. But at the end of the day, the winner's the Boogeyman.
He might have gotten the pinfall, but no one walks away from a match like that.
Oh, and he's got the worms. He's got the worms. Oh, this right down the throat. Oh, I can't look. Oh, I gotta look. Oh, it's she's got a mouthful of worms. Oh, just a mouthful of worms. All over the ring and all in Mickie James's mouth. And that was our first match here on Monday Night Raw. After that gruesome first match, we now have our second match. We've got a first blood match between Kennedy, and the Intercontinental Champion Carlito here on Monday Night Raw. So we're going to get going and continue on with the action on Interactive GM mode. We're going to get started with this first blood match between Intercontinental Champion Carlito and Kennedy. Let's get started with our next match here on Monday Night Raw. Yes, this is once again a first blood match, and the two competitors getting right in each other's face right before the bell rings. Mike Chioda's just there to see if somebody bleeds. That's literally it. That's his job.
Look at him feeding off the energy from
So I'd like to ask this of you guys, since we were talking about this between the matches. We were talking about this between the matches. What do you all think? And those of you watching on YouTube, what do you think? What is the best general manager mode? Smackdown vs Raw 06, 07, or 8? Or Fire Pro? Or something else? Let us know in the comments below. In the meanwhile, Magic Tate, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you for joining in. Irish whip into the ropes. Carlito, you know, he's using a lot of technical moves. He's gotta embrace that dirty side to him. He's gotta embrace that little that beat up, gritty, dirty side to him.
Really drives home the fact that Raw is the dominant brand.
If he's gonna get the win in this first blood match, build a little momentum as champion, even though this is a non-title match, Carlito needs to. Wow, tremendous move there from Kennedy with the leapfrog, and then the big elbow drop hit right on the money. The big elbow drop hit right on the money. But Kennedy's got to do those moves. He's got to hit things that bust his opponent open.
A textbook reversal there.
You can't rely on headlocks, handholds, arm drags, suplexes. This is a first blood match. Get a chair. Get a baseball bat. Get some garbage can. Do stuff like that. Kennedy doing the best that he can to split open Carlito. Referee checking. No blood from Carlito. But oh my God, a knee to the face. A knee to the face.
You can't appreciate a superstar the caliber of Mr. Kennedy, JR.
And Carlito might be feeling it here. No, he's definitely feeling it. Punch to the face of Kennedy. Irish whip into the corner. Chioda needs to get out of the way or he's going to find himself injured.
Why you always seem to be in such a hurry, JR? I think I've eaten a little too much good Oklahoma barbecue in my
Once again, another Irish whip into the corner and then another leapfrog from Kennedy back up to the top rope. Kennedy with the swanton. The swanton, but it missed. Carlito got out of the way.
This has gone beyond just being a match, JR. I think these superstars genuinely hate each other. There's no love lost between these competitors.
He got out of the and then the kick right between the legs. It's legal. It's completely legal here. And that is the Canton Bomb. And this time he hits, but it's a first blood match. Mr. Kennedy, you need to bust your opponent so he's bloody.
Extremely competitive match that could go either way.
But Carlito's he's feeling those impacts of those Canton Bombs. You can see him holding his ribs, holding his gut, trying to shake off a little bit of the pain after taking that high velocity move from his opponent. A choke! A choke! You can't break it up though, Mike. Ref Mike, it's legal. It's completely legal in this match. Meanwhile, Kennedy is just working over. You've got to think a win here would put him in potential contendership for that championship that Carlito does hold. Facebuster checking Kennedy for blood. He is still not bleeding. The match continues. And now Carlito looks to have found an opening. Looks to have smelled, and no pun intended, a little blood in the water. But Kennedy throwing salt into the wound. Nice sit-out chokeslam there from Kennedy.
Look at this! Wow, could you be any more biased, JR? How about some fair and balanced commentary?
Once again, this is a first blood match. Booked by our Twitch channel. All of our matches here on Raw booked by the Twitch channel. Stump puller pile driver! That Cactus Jack Mankind Mick Foley style pile driver. And the referee checking. Carlito's still not bloody. This match continues.
That was great! Remember, JR?
Thumb to the eye! Kennedy with the knocks! Knocks! It's legal! And Carlito's still not bleeding!
You sure can't, JR.
What a knockout punch with the breast, knocking down the knee to the face. Kennedy trying to bust open the Intercontinental Champion. This match still continues. The match still continues. This is our second match here on Raw. We've got a total of 6. Shoulder tackle there from Carlito. Yeah, I've always been a fan of Carlito. I wish that he would make his way back into wrestling in the current age. I don't know why he doesn't. I don't know if he's retired, if he's working on another promotion. If you know, let me know. But yeah, I've always been a big fan of Carlito. Nice head scissor takedown from Kennedy. Referee checking for blood. Carlito landed awkwardly. No blood. Kennedy trying to make sure. And there it is. There it is. Carlito's busted open. Kennedy is your winner of this first blood match.
Wow, what a battle! When's the last time you saw a superstar knocked out like that, JR? I honestly can't remember, King. That wasn't pretty, but it was decisive. I'll say, when you can still stand and your opponent can't.
Here is your winner, Mr. Kennedy! Kennedy! What a match. Great match here on Monday Night Raw. And we're going to continue on with our next one. All right, guys, we are about to get started with match number 3 here on Monday Night Raw. We've got Bobby Lashley taking on Chris Benoit, so I'm going to hit this button, and we're going to get going with our next match on Raw. All right, here you go, you guys. This is the ladder match between Bobby Lashley and Chris Benoit. Let's get going as we continue on with Monday Night Raw. Now, here's the thing to know. If it's a ladder match that does not involve a championship, you can have the match end in a pinfall or submission. It does not have to result in the person climbing the ladder and ripping down whatever's hanging above the ring. You can have this match end in a pinfall or submission. So we're gonna have to wait and see how this match goes between a powerhouse in Bobby Lashley and a technical warhorse in Chris Benoit.
You, of all people, he's all fired up now.
Nice German suplex by Benoit. Keeps the hands locked, and then another one. And then a third German suplex, planting the bigger Bobby Lashley onto the mat. And a nice elbow drop there delivered by the Rabid Wolverine, Chris Benoit. Remember, once again, in this ladder match, I just said this a minute ago, but I do feel the need to remind the audience at home and those of you watching us live that you can win a ladder match. I do believe that it's a non-title ladder match, because I know you can do this in TLC. We saw this on Smackdown last week. But if it's a non-title ladder match, you might be able to win via pinfall or submission, not via just ripping down what's hanging above the ring. Nice kick to the ribs there, delivered by Bobby Lashley. And these two refusing to leave the ring, at least as of right now. I think Benoit's just trying to wear Lashley out. Hey, Colonel Stutters, how's it going? Nice to see you again. Nice clothesline there, delivered by Lashley. And now Lashley trying to wear down Benoit. Now, there have been in Raw, Raw with a lower budget, Raw has booked a significant amount of stipulation-heavy matches. They did book a couple of promos to try to recoup some of that money, but they did book a couple matches that had a heavy stipulation and a cost to those stipulations.
You're always trying to kiss up to the fans by talking up whoever they're cheering for. I've never been a kiss.
Nice cross armbar there from Chris Benoit, and once again releasing the submission hold. Bobby Lashley can't seem to get a toehold on what's going on. A nice chop there from Benoit. And then another one. That one only dazing Lashley. This is a methodically paced match. It's a slow burn match, but it's gonna burn hot.
Me too. It almost makes it worth having to sit next to you and listen to those.
And here we see the chain wrestling of both men on display. Lashley trying to outmuscle Benoit, and he splats him down on the mat. That strength on display.
If you don't have the guts to stick around, you might run like a scalded dog with a case of the liver tape.
And Lashley with the takedown, and then a little bit of a cockiness there from Bobby Lashley. And Benoit crashing over the top rope, and Lashley with the splash, but he missed.
The Rock, we're just to walk down this ramp.
You're seeing it right here. Yeah. Well, somebody
Lashley missed.
Oh, this one's not going to end well.
Get inside the ring. Look you right in the eyes.
And now the ladder being introduced into the.
All over Fort Lauderdale.
And that's one of our tier 3 sound commands from Dairy Lips. You guys can hear that. No, Dairy Lips, you're good. Don't worry about it. Dairy Lips, having The Rock interrupt this match. And Benoit's at the top of the ladder. Lashley just crashed down. Benoit's reaching up for that replica title. The emblematic replica title.
Superstars are putting on a great match so far, JR. But if they
Benoit's got his hands on it. Lashley is out. Benoit just has to reach a little bit longer, and Lashley rips down the replica. Benoit did all of the work, and Lashley cleaned it up. Benoit did all of the work, and Bobby Lashley picked the bones. Let's try that again, Jillian. Let me try to add some sauce onto that. Here's your winner, Bobby Lashley. Well, Cameron, they don't have a briefcase. They're fighting obviously for a replica title. It's emblematic. Bobby Lashley he's undefeated in 2 straight weeks. Bobby Lashley has defeated Triple H and Chris Benoit. Could this be a sign? That is my question. Could we be looking at the newest contender for Snitsky's championship? Our next triple threat match, Matt Hardy, Kane, and John Cena. We're going to get to ringside and get started with this next match here on Monday Night Raw inside of our interactive GM mode. All right, here you go, you guys. We're going to get started with our next match, triple threat, Kane, Matt Hardy, and John Cena. One fall will finish as we continue on with Monday Night Raw, booked by you guys, our Twitch channel. Ref Mike signaling for the bell, and we are underway once again on John Cena with an overhead bulldog, already trying to plant Matt Hardy down, and Kane trying to burn his slow chemical. I don't know what I was trying to do there. That was a bad joke. That was a bad joke. That was a terrible joke, but it is Terrible Joke Tuesday here in the Twitch chat, so you guys can feel free to spam the Twitch channel with all the terrible jokes that you've got. I do believe this Cena was the iteration of Cena that was before. It was just before Cena wins. LOL, Cena wins everything. Because with, I think, Cena winning everything, this was the Cena that had the rivalry with JBL in that ended at WrestleMania for the United States Championship. That's what version of Cena this is. This isn't the version that was like beating Triple H or like holding the Universal or the Undisputed, rather, because it was Undisputed at the time, or the Undisputed Championship. Kane just punched the referee, but there's no disqualifications. Matt Hardy just punched the referee. Why are people punching the referees here? Why are people? What you guys got against Ref Mike? What'd he do? Chokes. Oh my God! Kane! Kane just chokeslammed Matt Hardy outside! Matt Hardy, I don't know how he's still standing. He took a chokeslam from hell to hell. I don't know how he did that. I don't know, one, where Kane just decided to just destroy Matt Hardy's life, and two, how Matt Hardy is, we do know him currently as being unkillable. That is what this current vessel of Matt Hardy, the one that's in AEW, is. And then a backbreaker. Cena and Kane are looking to injure Hardy, looking to potentially take him out. So this is once again, for those of you watching, this is our interactive general manager mode in Smackdown Vs Raw 2007. You're currently watching the match card that is booked by our live Twitch channel. We had a raffle for the general managers. The people who won got to book the matches, and we're seeing those matches take place and play out live.
Oh, there's no doubt about that, JR. There's not a superstar on the Smackdown roster.
And I know that there are a lot of people who've got a lot of things to say about this game compared to current WWE games made by 2K.
Why would you want to lower the tone of the Raw locker room?
There's not even a comparison. The games during this era, I'm talking about all the games during this era. Smackdown vs. Raw 6, 7, 8, Day of Reckoning for the GameCube. They were much better than what we currently see. Maybe not in some aspects the graphics, but like gameplay, fluidity of matches, things like that. It just flows much better in Smackdown vs. Raw 07 or 06 than it does in, let's say, 2K20.
It certainly is. I'm sure they're well acquainted with the old expression, cool fresh in. Is that why you always seem to be in such a hurry, JR?
Shoulder? No, wait, Matt Hardy just tripped over his own feet. You know, you gotta know your super arm drag takedown from Cena, and I swear, Matt Hardy grabbing his ribs, he's got to be working on instinct at this point. He has got to be working at instinct. There is no way that Matt Hardy could be going in his full form at 100% after taking a chokeslam from hell to the outside of the ring. There is no way that Matt Hardy could, we've got to make sure that the stump puller pile driver, that cactus driver, flip it to Matt Hardy. Kane and Cena seem to have centralized their attack on the person they perceive as the weakest, but who is showing the most heart in this match.
But that would be no easy feat.
Matt Hardy, single leg Boston Crab to the man from Massachusetts, cinches it in, and Kane with the breakup of the submission move.
It sure is, King. And even if you break
Who would you guys like to see potentially, and I'll leave this as a question for you guys live. Who would you like to see as a CAW potentially created and imported into our interactive general manager mode in Smackdown vs. Raw 2007? If I can make it happen, I'd love to make like a Shotzi Blackheart. I'd love to make like I'd love to get Roman Reigns in the interactive general manager mode. I'd love to try to get The Fiend I'd love to try to get Bobby Lashley. Not but current Bobby Lashley. Current like update his movesets and such. Or like Karrion Kross if possible. Spiked him with the tombstone pile driver. Maybe even the Undisputed Era would be a good get if we could try to create them. Choke slam from hell. That is the second one delivered to Hardy. Kane dragged him to the middle of the ring, shoots the half, hooks the leg for the one, the two. Oh no, there's Cena to break up the pinfall attempt. Aleister Black could be a lot of fun also in this interactive general manager mode. It's just the thing is with Cause in this, I do believe in order to get that like unlimited money, I've got to play through a year of. It's either a year of this or a year of like the single player mode. I am not sure. Chris Jericho. Why don't we have Chris Jericho? And I need to change that. I need to change that. I need to change to Chris Jericho because Chris Jericho would be a huge get. I'll tell you guys a person who I think who in real life looks like they are in a video game. They're not a WWE guy, but every time I see them in a match as Ref Mike is knocked down, every time I see them in a match, I think I'm watching a video game. That's Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay does not look human. Will Ospreay looks like a walking, talking video game. I can also say the same about Kenny Omega. Not about Kenny Omega. About Keith Lee. They look like walking video games. Like seeing them compete, like Keith Lee does things that you don't think that should exist in real life from a man his size. And same thing with like Will Ospreay just like gravity. What's that? I'll ignore that. Speaking of men who gravity forgot, I'd also love to see Neville in this game. Cena. Yo, Fantasy World League coming in with a sub for 8 months. Cena with the 5-knuckle shuffle to Kane. Thank you so much for the resub, Fantasy World League, my dude. Appreciate you. Twist of fate. Matt Hardy needs to capitalize here. Go for the pin on Kane. Go for the pin on Kane. Kane's taking more damage. I don't think this is wise for Matt. What? He did go for the pin on Kane, but there was a rope break. It's 5 moves. Cena with 5 moves of doom, not just 3. He's got 5.
I tell you, King, sometimes I get exhausted.
And happy Tuesday to everybody. I hope that you guys are having yourself a great day. Kane, I don't know how he got to the ropes there. Maybe the ref taking a little bit of offense after taking those attacks from Matt Hardy, calling a ghost rope break, because that's what it looked like to me.
Oh, that's a lovely image, King.
Matt Hardy battling back once again. This man has taken a lot of damage in this match. Huge lariat there from Kane. Matt seems to be focused on Cena.
Look what's going on in the ring.
Matt seems to be completely focused on Cena. Now he can completely focus on Cena after Kane landed awkwardly outside the ring, and so did Cena. No countouts. It's a triple threat match. Matt with a big splash onto both of his opponents.
And I'm glad I'm here to see it. Me too. It almost makes it worth having to sit next to you and listen to the.
You know, there's a game that a lot of people were talking about. It's that virtual basement wrestling game that's coming out soon, hopefully. I am in the opinion that I can't wait for it. But I'm also going to try to not hype it up too much, because if like nothing lives up to the hype, you know, especially if you're going to hype things up for a year and a half, maybe 2 years. But as far as the virtual basement wrestling game goes, I've loved what I've seen being released so far, and I can't wait to see what actually comes from the game, and I hope that it ends up being a good one. I'm just excited that there's going to be a simulation-based thing that is not just a 2K title. Because one, that'll make everything better. If there's a simulation-based title that's not just 2K, it's going to be a legitimate competitor for the 2K series, the 2K franchise, and then make their games better, which makes us as an audience, us as consumers, get better games. And speaking of wrestling video games, we also have that AEW video game that was hinted at. by, I believe it was by the Young Bucks, maybe by Cody. We've probably got a few years out before that. Probably got a few years out before that.
Slogan from, oh my, looks like someone's been busted wide open. This can't be good. You're right. It's not.
Kane has got Matt Hardy reeling. Oh, not in the steps. Not in the steps. Not in the steps. He choke slammed him into the steps. He chokes. Kane is intent on making sure that Matt Hardy doesn't walk after this match.
And they're getting their money's worth tonight. They sure are, JR. There's no question these superstars.
And the greatest, and the twist of fate with the blood pouring out of Kane. Cena's out of the ring. Referee counting 1, 2, 3. Matt Hardy pins Kane, and Cena let it happen. Matt Hardy pins a bloodied Kane after all the damage that he has taken to get the win here on Raw in what I think could be the match of the week. Here is your winner, Matt Hardy. That's gonna do a lot of things for his popularity. That's gonna send his popularity going up through the roof. What a match. This triple threat match. Match number 3. And we're going to continue on with Monday Night Raw, with whatever's happening next. So our next match is a steel cage match between Edge and Triple H. And the only way to win the steel cage is via escaping either over the top of the cage or through the door. We're going to continue on with Monday Night Raw, booked by our Twitch chat. Match number 5, match before the main event, steel cage match between Edge and Triple H to continue us off on Monday Night Raw. And the only way this was booked by our general managers, the chat. The only way that you can win this match is via escaping the cage either over the top rope or through the door. No pinfalls, no submissions.
He's not the dirtiest player in the game, JR.
No pinfalls, no submissions. The only way to get the win is via escaping over the top door. I hope that everyone is having themselves a great day. I myself am doing fairly well, and I appreciate you all for being here. Either whether you're watching us with us live or watching this on YouTube, I appreciate you for hanging out. Edge with a series of stomps to the chest and bringing that face across that steel cage. Edge, if he were smart, he would live up to that ultimate opportunist moniker. He would absolutely live up to that. Wait to hit one big move and then escape the cage. I am predicting that it's going to take one pedigree or one spear to be enough to knock the opponent out long enough to get over the top rope and to get out of this match. I don't think this is going to last long.
It's not hard to tell how this one's going to go.
Edge trying to injure the neck of Triple H and then goes right to the knee. This is a Triple H that came right back from the quad tear, I do believe.
It's obvious that the only exercise you get is stretching the truth or
I could be wrong about that. Thumb to the eye, and Triple H now taking advantage. The cerebral assassin living up to that with Edge. Edge, huge move already. Go for the escape. Leave the cage. Get the win or don't. Yeah, I don't think that this match is gonna last that long. These superstars know what's at stake. They don't want to risk themselves putting themselves in harm. And if you're gonna put yourself at harm in a steel cage match, especially when a title is not on the line, no. I think that they're gonna make it. It's gonna be a spear or a pedigree, and it's not gonna last much longer. Oh my God! And side suplex, dropping Triple H on his head, and now Edge with the submission move, but you cannot win via getting the submission. He is just trying to take the base out of Triple H so he can't climb the cage using his legs. Smart tactical move there from the Rated R Superstar.
I can't believe he countered that one.
Triple H is dazed. He was down to one knee. Edge bringing him back up to both feet, sending him into the far corner, and then trying to hit him with the shoulder tackle. Triple H reverses it. Nice counters, both of these two trading it on a swinging DDT from Edge.
Intelligence of these WWE fans. Well, I heard that
Starfire Jess with the resub. 14 months. Thank you for that so much. I appreciate that.
Just subscribe.
You talk about ruthless aggression. Look at the way these
Now with these matches that we're seeing on Raw, the speculation is, especially after that triple threat match, if there's going to be anybody injured, we're going to have to wait and see after SmackDown to see.
No, go ahead and say it, JR. All right, I will. I think this will.
You know, I gotta say, R-Truth in real life is probably one of my favorite people in the WWE and has been for years. Like his humor, his creativity, everything that he does, all the characters that he builds. Oh my god, that did not look that looks awkward in every way. Oh, Triple H just went head first into the steel cage, and this is where Edge can take advantage. He can use that moniker, that ultimate opportunist moniker, and live up to it if he's smart about it. Meanwhile, back to R-Truth, I think that he is probably one of the most creative people, and I love that they allow him to basically have free reign over his character in real life. Like I don't think anybody really establishes a character more than R-Truth in real life, if you ask me. Yet another submission move. Another minute, but you can't get the win via submission, and I don't know what Edge's game is here. I don't know what Edge's game is here, because the only way that you can win this match is via escape. Trying to get those submissions, he might be trying to play a head game against the Cerebral Assassin, and that is a mistake. That is an absolute mistake. If you don't want to play the mental game against Triple H, he will beat you every single time. Looked like Triple H was maybe going for a spear there. Drop toe hold, reversing it from Edge.
Right there. It certainly is. I'm sure they're well.
Maybe Edge's game plan here is a long-term plan. Maybe Edge wants to try to hurt Triple H so that when it comes to contending for the championship, Edge will be able to knock Triple H out of contention. And Edge setting up in the corner for the running hog. I mean the spear. It was a spear. Stop taunting and get climbing. A second one. He really wants to make sure of this. He really wants to make sure. Edge with a second spear. Back to back spears. But he doesn't try to escape.
And I think it's going to pay off, mark my words.
That can't be wise. That was the opportunity. That was it. That was the chance. That was it. That was the one. And Edge, it's like I said, he wants to injure Triple H. If he wins or loses, he's going to be the one that walks out of this match looking like the winner. And now Edge, after doing all that damage to Triple H's knee, to Triple H's ribs, Edge climbing to the top of the cage, Triple H quickly back up to his feet. Triple H is trying to shake Edge loose, and he shakes it to the outside. Edge has won the steel cage match. What a match, and a great, and Edge took every advantage. Here's your winner, the Rated R Superstar, Edge! In a pretty good steel cage match, if you do ask me myself. It was a really good steel cage match. I'll tell you what, after a fair to middling showing from Monday Night Raw last week, they sure are going for the fences. They're swinging for the fences on this episode of Monday Night Raw. Our main event, we've got the Women's Championship on the line. Lita is the challenger. Jillian Hall was named the first champion. Could we see our first title change hands on Monday Night Raw, where there's only one way to see, and that's to watch the match and see what happens here in our main event of Monday Night Raw. This is our main event. After this, we're going to, this is our main event. After the end of the match, we're going to be crowning either a new Raw Women's Champion or Jillian Hall will be retaining her champion, Farouk. I know, right? Main event, title match. Let's see how it goes. And Lita going in already on Jillian Hall. Trapped kicks, but Jillian trying to take out the knees of Lita, trying to wrench her down by her hair, but why would it be you, Dolph? Why?
There's so much plastic in that dream. My wallet is jealous.
Well, Mark Henry and Mae Young's child, I understand you saying that.
How can you insult the intelligence of these WWE fans? Well,
I understand you saying that, but you're a hand, so what do you know? And I don't know why Dolph wants to be in this women's championship match. I mean, not even in this game. Lots of the great chain wrestling here between the women's champion Jillian Hall and the challenger Lita. Both women not allowing their opponents to get an inch as we're back in the corner, collar and elbow takeoff. And now both women just trying to take each other out on the ground. Grabbing each other by their hair, swinging, throwing fists, kicks, doing whatever they can to try to hurt their opponent.
You sure can, JR, and I don't think we'd have it any other way.
Stiff punches there from the challenger. This match is your main event, and it is for the women's championship. So for those of you who are wondering, by the way, it's computer versus computer action that we're seeing. I am not controlling anything. I am here behind my commentary desk because that's all I'm doing is calling commentary. That's Jillian! Oh! Jillian almost stole it. That was almost a 3 count as the Indian Deathlock locked in by Lita quickly lets it go. Jillian trying to do everything that she can, hitting the rolling neck breaker, hitting everything that she can to try to retain her women's championship here on the main event of Monday Night Raw. The second Raw in our interactive general manager mode as both women once again brawling on the mat. Jillian slamming Lita into the mat by her ears, Lita throwing fists, Jillian getting out of the way with her feet. Hey, you know what? A clean win, dirty win, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that you leave with the win. Especially when a championship is on the line, and that's what's exactly on the line here in your main event. It is the women's championship on the line. Lita is your challenger, and Jillian Hall, warts and all, except her wart by this point was eaten by the Boogeyman. Her wart was eaten by the Boogeyman. For the women's. I keep wanting to say Raw Women's, but it's just the women's championship. All right, Darkness, my dude, I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. See you later. Swinging DDT delivered by the champion, and the champion now. I mean, champion's advantage is also in play, always in play, but the champion looking to have the advantage in this match as she's looking to get up and hits the cartwheel into the elbow drop right across the neck of Lita, but she doesn't try to go for the pin. And now the slaps across the back of the head, and that could only serve to upset the challenger. Of these superstars to their careers. Once again bringing the brawl down to the mat, hair pulling, eye gouging, ears being used as leverage. Jillian Hall getting a little bit of space between her and her challenger, and then she slips and misses as Lita sidesteps the shoulder tackle attempt. Jillian taking a second to compose herself. Needs to come up with the battle plan as she didn't go for the pinfall after hitting the big move. She hits the spinning leg lariat. I know. Oh my God, is right, Joey Styles. I wouldn't believe it either if you would have seen it. If you would have said it that this would have been the match, I wouldn't believe it. And if it would have been this good of a match. Lita trying to do her best that she can to try to get And into the back heel kick. That heel kick, that trapped heel kick right to the face of the champion. And now this match has started to turn around. Leapfrog. Lita's up top. Lita with a huge elbow drop to the ribs. Lita taking a second to compose herself, to come up with whatever her next big move is going to be, to try to put this away and to become the women's champion. Single leg Boston Crab, cinches it in, lays back. The pain on the champion's face. I'm sure it was there. Since she was facing on the camera, we of course couldn't see it. If Kevin Dunn were in charge of the cameras, we would have seen 150 camera cuts during that. A huge reversal there from the champ, who's got Lita clutched in a headlock.
Well, from the looks of things, it's not hard to tell how this one's
Swinging neck breaker from the champion, taking a second once again to gather her wits, to take a breath. Not a bad decision, but you do want to make sure that you stay on top of an opponent like Lita, especially when you are a champion and you are defending your championship.
Judging from the shape I'm in, I don't appear to be doing too much of either, King. You're looking pretty fit, though, I must say.
Stiff elbow, slap block from both sides, another headlock. Swinging neck breaker there from the champion, who's getting a little distance. Once again hits that handspring elbow right across the throat. If the champ were wise, she'd go for a pin. Instead, she can't even go for a move. She's exhausted. Collapses into the pin for the 1, the 2, and the 3. Jillian Hall retains the championship here in the main event of Monday Night Raw. And thus makes her championship reign legitimate.
I've been a lot of superstars in my day, JR, and it's tougher than it
Here's your winner, and still women's champion, Jillian Hall. Jillian Hall did what she could to not only prove it to herself, but to silence all of her doubters inside of our universe who didn't think that she was worthy of holding the women's championship after being appointed the women's championship. But there you see it, clear as day. Jillian Hall still your women's champion. And that, my friends, was the main event of Monday Night Raw. And that wraps up episode 3 of Interactive GM Mode. Thank you so much for watching. If you did like what you see here, make sure to give a like to the video and to share with your friends. And if you really want to, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate that dearly. You'll be able to see what happens in episode 4 when you click any of these videos that you see to my side here. And until then, my friends, thank you so much for watching, and make sure you have yourself a great day.